Hello World Wide Web, I'm Dr. Shado, the internet personality with the best hair. And today, I would like to preemptively tell you all that I am very sorry. Because today's review is of the forgotten classic, The Creature Wasn't Nice, a 1981 comedy spoof of Alien, which I wouldn't blame you if you haven't heard of, because The Creature Wasn't Nice wasn't very well received, to say the least. But it's got an all-star cast, including Leslie Nielson, who would go on to star in the much better comedy Airplane. And since this one didn't sell too well, they repackaged it under the name Starship, or Spaceship, or something ship. And the problem was, the movie was still, it's not very good, and didn't sell very well. But Leslie would then go on to star in The Naked Gun, and that did really well. So this was again repackaged under the title Naked Space. The problem being the movie was still not very good, so... And the best fitting title stands as The Creature Wasn't Nice, so what is the gist of it? A group of spacefaring space people find an alien organism, bring it back to the ship, and get this, it wasn't nice. But in order to understand just how a spoof of Alien starring Leslie Nielson is just somehow not great, let's take a look at The Creature Wasn't Nice. Because if I had to suffer through this thing, so do you. We open up to space. Naked Space. Because good luck finding a print of this with the actual original title. If you look hard enough, you can sometimes find ones labeled Spaceship, but yeah, Naked Space is what it is today. After the opening credits finish pretending this movie is far more epic than it has any right to be, we are introduced to our Star Destroyer knockoff, Vertigo, with its own little Jiffy Pop AI system.
Hello, all you space guys and gals. This is your Maximum Max computer.
Voiced by somebody. It says here that they originally were the Oscar winner Broderick Crawford, but during production they had health issues and the lines ended up all getting re-recorded by someone asterisk. If anything, Crawford dodged a bullet here. Unlike our lead here, Captain Jameson, played by Leslie Nielson, as well as Jarrett Graham. You all know that I'm a Jarrett Graham superfan. He's Beef in Phantom of the Paradise. And Mr. Simpson in Child's Play 2. And Bud in Chud 2, Bud the Chud. And Rodzinski from The Creature Wasn't Nice, I suppose. Here we see that while Captain Jameson is super serious about his duties, Rodzinski is a slacker-ass jagoff.
Rodzinski, you are sick. And when we get back to Earth, I'm going to recommend a lobotomy.
So I'm sure you've noticed by now, we've got a few big-name actors for this production. I suppose the draw of this is a Grateful Dead production, a spoof of Alien in the 80s comedy. These are all things very hot right now. Probably convinced a lot of them to sign on for this. The problem is, everything else. Rodzinski awkwardly points out his own pervishness should be permitted because, as you know, Bob, the captain tries to look at the boobs of the only female crewmate rather frequently.
Shut your trap.
Yes.
And that's supposed to be a bit of a running joke. Not the boobs thing. Well, yes, the boobs thing, but the shut your trap thing specifically because, shut your trap. How is that funny? And here she is, Annie McHugh, played by Cindy Williams. You know, Shirley from Laverne and Shirley. And another thing you might be wondering right now, what boobs? Yeah, that look down the blouse joke only really works if she's, voluptuous. I mean, she is good looking, beautiful, cute even, but I don't think that they're peeking down her blouse to get a look at her great personality. There's also John, played by Bruce Kimmel, possibly the best walking example of this movie's idea of comedy. Oh, he's got him up, but just look how bad he is at it. I get it. It's absurdist comedy. We just look at it and we're like, how the fuck did this thing manage to get to print? 3 times? But my personal favorite crewmate would have to be Dr. Stark over here, played by Patrick Macnee, mainly because of how absolutely over-the-top and campy his line deliveries are, such as when Max informs him, hey, just found a brand new planet over here.
We must set up an expedition immediately. When the history books are written, This will be known as the Stark Planet.
Not a single shred of any word that came out of his mouth was even remotely comedic, but just the way he delivered it with such seriousness, it's like the only joy I have in this movie. Please let me. Stark lays it out, and Captain Jameson is like, well, I don't see how we get the plot of this movie going otherwise. But there is a problem. Since we didn't bother to script any need to convince anyone, the runtime's a bit short. Not to worry, Max can fill the dead air with unnecessary exposition about the planet's long history.
Some bad vibes in the atmosphere caused an evolutionary change in these creatures and produced some mean dudes, like Attila the Alien, who ate an entire city.
Filled with public domain kaiju movies at random, just to, remind us of movies we'd rather be watching. The story goes the giant creatures destroyed everything, and now it's ruins. This has literally no bearing on anything whatsoever, so feel free to ignore it.
Maybe Rudzinski can find some old alien porn lying around.
Okay, I'll be talking to you later, Buster. You got me?
Hey, if anyone in this tin can appreciate blue alien women, you'd think it'd be Rodzinski over there. Or Dr. Stark in his own way. That out of the way, they all head down to investigate.
7, 8, 6, 9, 7, 10. It's very funny.
Thank you.
Now I'll have to do it all over again.
I must have done something incredibly evil in a past life to have to sit through witnessing one of my favorite actors being an insufferable prick for an entire feature film.
Landing gear in position.
He's making it up. He doesn't know what the hell he's doing.
Shut your trap.
You ever hear of a running joke that becomes less funny the more you hear it? Dr. Stark points out the classic sci-fi trope of them not needing helmets, but this clear opportunity for humor is squandered.
That's my scientific way of saying we won't die without our hats on.
I got my hat on.
They do try to make a joke. It just sucks. Thus, they embark, and, now what? Plant flag, and then...
Look, there.
What, Leslie? It's the same desolate landscape painting in all directions. But they discover alien life, a plant-based life form. Dr. Stark is thrilled by this discovery, and they must bring it back to the ship with them.
Sure to get some of that kitty litter in there, Doc.
And you might be wondering just what kind of weird, zany antics a comedy could get up to with strange alien plant life that has never before been seen. Don't ask me, it never actually comes up again. The real life form they discover is this weird pink goo thing that John has found. Dr. Stark demands he hand it over. There's just one problem.
I want it.
I want you to have it, but it won't come off my finger.
Oh, look it. Seems to like me.
But the thing they found appears to have a mind of its own and is very wary of Dr. Stark. And forgive me if you've heard this one before, but this has no bearing on anything moving forward, so please feel free to ignore it. Because can't get it off my finger even if I pull problem is solved when Jameson just chucks it into the containment bin. Dr. Stark is beside himself with joy. He discovered a new organism, which shall be henceforth known as the Stark organism.
It was John who did discover the organism. I think we should give credit where credit is due.
Credit? What are they going to call it? The John organism? It's mine.
And technically it was Max who discovered the planet, so it's the John from Planet Max. Let's just leave it to Stark for now. That was the one and only plot-relevant thing all planet, so it's back to space for them. And time is passing. You can tell because the creature is growing. But not inside anyone, so no rush. They can still have their dinner scene. But the horror is more to do with John's cooking than anything.
What is this delicacy tonight?
Synthetic duck with synthetic a la orange.
Hey, what do you know? A little world building with some absurdist humor that leans into the sci-fi dystopia setting pretty well. You know what that means. They will beat that joke to death in due time, but more importantly...
Well, it's been 2 weeks since that historic journey.
Has it? It's been less than a minute with a couple of disjointed scene transitions from my perspective. But this does beg the question. Hey, Doc, how's the organism doing?
I told you I'm not hungry.
I didn't ask you to eat it. The organism, Doctor. How's it doing?
Oh, sorry, I misunderstood. Fine. Everything's fine. Nothing's wrong. Hunky-dory, everything's good. Swell.
Just in case you missed that something was indeed going awry. Don't worry, though. Everyone here is far too stupid to pick up on any of that. Dr. Stark has no desire to stay any longer, but John offers him synthetic pie.
Science is my pie. Curiosity is my sweet tooth. Knowledge is my candy.
And geez, put the books down before you rot your teeth, just saying. So it's back to dicking around.
May I speak with you a moment, sir?
Of course. Just let me avoid these meteors here first.
Why do I have the sneaking suspicion that that was supposed to be a shot of him playing asteroids or something, and they just forgot to add it in post? While we're doing jack and shit in terms of progressing the plot, Annie has come to the captain to check if he'll be in the talent show. Oh, and Rodzinski, too.
Oh, please, not Ledzinski. It's bad enough having him in the audience.
Considering how things are running the ship, I'm sure it's not by choice.
Now, you know what happened to the crew the last time he did his act.
It's true.
Also, no damn idea what they're talking about. The movie never elaborates. We do get a little side scene later where we see Rodzinski does have a talent, playing guitar. Pretty good at it, and I have no idea how this could elicit this kind of reaction out of either of them. So let us continue to waste film on said talent show with no talent shown from Jared Graham. It's not all bad. Leslie begins with a dramatic reading from the ship's logs.
Hey, who gives a shit?
Shut your trap.
To be fair, Jared, there is one semi-decent joke in this scene.
The afternoon passed slow. The night passed quickly.
Of course, Leslie is the perfect actor to give that delivery, so it helps. The following talent is John with a little cooking show showing us all how to make synthetic turkey. Yes, I realize I should have got this review out before Thanksgiving, but just roll with it. Predictably, the joke is, hey, synthetic cooking is disgusting.
Looks yummy already.
You know that joke from back in the dinner scene, except this time they... No, it's just the exact same joke. Well, there is this one bit with the stuffing.
Insert your hand into the anal area of your turkey structure and enter the stuffing.
That weird silence and look. I feel like that was also a part where they were supposed to add like a sound effect in post and they just forgot to. Hell, I'll do it. You see, that's much more fitting, even when it's something that's not fitting at all. Now that we're done with all that crap, it's time for hands down the best part of the talent show, Anne McHugh's performance.
I need your loving, all that you got.
Both because it is possibly the most entertaining part of the entire movie, and it is actually plot relevant. You're gonna have to trust me on that one. She sings, she dances! Rodzinski hoots and hollers like a fucking idiot, and after about a minute of that...
Oh!
We're back to just watching the fucking movie again. Well, at least this time they did actually put the video game the captain is playing on screen. Inverted Space Invaders. Now, I'm sure you'd all love to just sit here and watch John play with himself, but there's breaking news. Earth news. Otherwise known as more completely disjointed quote-unquote jokes to fill out the running time.
Doctors reported the first successful body transplant. The body transplant was performed on Mr. Harvey Furman of Virginia.
The only problem is I have to take a leak, and I don't know where my pee-pee is.
Bless his heart.
Is this stock footage from something else? I'm trying to wrap my head around this because I don't really recognize it. It doesn't look too aged and old and off in the public domain. But why would they build out this entire elaborate set and costume for this one-off joke that is only funny if you're stoned out of your mind? Or you're gonna have an existential crisis looking for your dick. But it's not all sunshine and rainbows on Earth.
Walter Chamberlain here in Philadelphia, where a guerrilla force from Mars launched an invasion last night.
Because they are being attacked by the planet of the apes. The other planet with apes, not future Earth. well, future Earth too, but there are multiple planets with many apes. Oh, right, the organism, the plot. How's that going again? Getting bigger. Okay, yeah, okay, we're gonna ignore that for more comedy then. Wonderful. Hey, John cooked more synthetic food.
So you liked it then? Oh, good, because we're having this for dinner tonight.
And it's disgusting. Comedy, the rule of threes, also works in thousands. Much better news, for us anyway. Dr. Stark decides to approach Annie.
I don't want to appear in any way ominous.
This man has all the best lines, hands down. He explains that the organism has grown in the time since they left the new planet.
Our examinations were 2 weeks apart. And as another 2 weeks have elapsed, it's time to check the organism again.
But just because it's an amazing scientific discovery, unlike anything the human race has ever seen, there's no reason to actually spend any more time than the minimum required by your job. It's not like you're getting paid by the hour for this shit. In any case, he'd like Annie to be present as a witness. So...
Doctor. Holy shit.
Well, fuck, I guess in space they can hear you scream. Bringing the news of the change to the rest of the crew, it's time for everyone to put their heads together and figure things out.
What do we do?
Zap it. Kill the little loogie. Hold me back.
Dr. Stark, no one is convinced that you are actually legitimately being physically restrained by Shirley. The captain makes the command decision that the best course of action to ensure their safety and the integrity of the discovery is to simply keep it locked up in the sample vault until they get back and until he gets very, very far away from the ship.
The door to that sample vault is strong enough to withstand any eventuality.
So I just happen to build a laboratory in a spaceship with a door strong enough to withstand the tyrant. Just in case, you know. So fuck it, they just kick back and fill out the running time watching movies, such as Dirty Harry.
Now listen to me, punk. You're an asshole.
Get it? It's Dirty Harry, but he's old because it's the future. God, I could be watching Gran Torino instead of this shit. Not all the running time is on disjointed skits, though. Some is spent on characterization.
I have these dreams at night in which I'm taunted by disembodied breasts and thighs. I need a woman, McHugh.
Such as Rodzinski being a horny jackass. Yes, they already established that, but they repeat it again and again.
A major part of our training was to remain asexual.
I am asexual. A sexual fiend.
And again. And again as McHugh goes to sunbathe in some solar radiation, only for Rodzinski to make his moves on her. Again. So she tells him in no uncertain terms to get the fuck out, leave her alone, and please go die in a hole somewhere.
You're sure you don't... Ah! Oh, jeez. Love ya. Don't ever change.
This movie just keeps going. How long is it? Anyway, she returns to her relaxation, but what's this? There is movement at the other side of the curtain. Must be that damn Rodzinski again. It's only one thing to do now. Punch the alien goo in the nuts! Does it have nuts? Is it all nuts? How does this work? Since time is of the essence, of course she has plenty of time to get dressed before collecting everyone together to tell them about the gigantic organism. Dr. Stark is amazed and excited, but pretty much everyone else is more concerned with not letting the escaped creature kill them.
Perhaps I'll take this.
Yes, take that gun. Just this one time. And, don't use it. And, in fact, never bring it up again. As the group sneaks along, getting spooked by everything along the way, eventually Rodzinski has had enough of playing hide-and-seek with the big glob of snot. He's like, "Hey, where are you?" And it's like, "Here I am."
Don't move.
Very good. Wonderful. Don't move.
Oh, don't be upset. I'm just happy that we're finally getting that much closer to watching each and every one of you motherfuckers die. Oh, that is what you're upset about. So somehow this is no problem at all, and he just leaves it. Funny, I was under the impression that the creature wasn't nice.
I really must object to your use of the word creature. It's inflammatory and highly prejudiced.
Well, what would you prefer? Snot boy? Phlegm dude? Jello jiggler?
Dr. Stark, if I may speak with you for a moment.
That ass grab looked kind of ad-libbed, didn't it? Just saying, the acting was a bit more believable than usual. And she ignores that advance for the only time all movie, concentrating on what they can do about the escaped living organism. While Radzinski knows what to do, complain about it.
A mass of unrepentant jism. Shut up!
The one time they don't go for the full shut your trap, just to make sure that running joke is also not done properly. Dr. Stark ensures everyone that they could probably just walk up to the organism and be friendly. If they're all friends, there's nothing to be worried about. The rest of the crew aren't convinced, and for some reason when it comes to who gets to hold out the olive branch, Stark does not volunteer. No, he doesn't secretly mistrust the organism or know something the others don't. It would just get in the way of the joke. They draw lots, short paper gets the short end of the stick, and wouldn't you know it, John gets the nub, and as such, he must face the creature. Obviously, he ain't thrilled, but don't worry. They talk him up to it.
Remember David and Goliath, Moses and the Pharaoh, Sodom and Gomorrah.
Yeah, I feel like just watching this, I'm going to be punished by being turned into a pillar of salt any minute.
I can do it!
Or the creature can just randomly attack, everyone can just break off and do nothing, and then it can leave having done no damage to anything. They do modify their plan, slightly. John still goes, but now they intend to tranquilize the creature when he lures it out, with their handy-dandy space tranquilizer gun.
Who are you shooting, Coach?
Oh, who knows, they didn't bother to add the effects in post. After enough spraying and praying, they tranquilize the monster. And the creature, too. Thus, it's off to the handy-dandy observation room with it, where they can discuss what to do about it. Of course, it's awake now and has been yelling and screaming the whole time.
You know, it almost sounds musical.
Yeah? Well, if that's music, I'm a horse's ass.
It must be music.
But as it turns out, the creature isn't screaming, it's singing. Now, what's the matter? Ain't you ever heard of heavy metal? But communication would mean they can communicate with it. Just gotta get Max to hook up the handy-dandy Universal Alien Translator. Yes, they have a Universal Alien Translator, even though they mentioned that they have never ever encountered intelligent alien life before. And we're just ignoring the Martian apes from the news before, because why should anything matter in this movie? Hearing the creature's song, it's probably the most iconic scene in the movie.
I want to eat your face. It could just be so yummy.
And I gotta admit, the first time I saw it, it did get some laughs out of me. But then...
I want to eat your smile.
It just keeps going.
I want to eat your arm.
On and on.
I want to eat your knees.
Until they break down.
Face. I want to eat your face. I want to eat your face.
And then they're not even singing. Just dancing and dancing. Minutes and minutes spent on the same joke. Excuse me, I'm just choking on my own rage here. Dr. Stark is enamored with the spectacle, but McHugh has some concerns.
Did you happen to catch the lyrics?
Lyrics? What do I care about lyrics?
A man after my own heart. Everyone else points out that the creature very clearly wants to eat them all, and the doctor's like, no. A living organism that can sing so beautifully can only be friendly, and I'll prove it to you once and for all. Hopping into the chamber with the creature, he's like, see? If you trust them, they trust you.
Oh! It's playing.
Playing what? Reverse Hangman?
It's a game.
Well, better hope it's Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 or you're going to be running out of arms soon. The creature seems to be playing Hungry Hungry Hippos as it eats Dr. Stark before their eyes.
Let's get out of here. Figure out the next step.
Well, way to let us know the thing's going to escape. Shouldn't these observation rooms have some kind of knockout gas and incineration failsafe? Or is that from the better sci-fi movies? They figure, hey, use a tranquilizer gun, then they can just chuck it out the airlock and be done with it. But wouldn't you know it, the damn thing broke out while off screen. Any reason y'all can't just say fuck it and leave? I'm just saying, in Alien, the movie you're spoofing, the get in the shuttle and get the fuck away from here was one of the things they tried. Nah, they split up. That always works out great. Especially when you have one tranquilizer gun and, oh yeah, don't even bring it along with you. John and Annie go down one set of identical corridors while Jameson and Rudzinski take the other. But when Rudzinski refuses to charge ahead per captain's orders, the captain threatens him with a court-martial.
I will not take it!
Which leads to them both being killed. Oh, that must mean we're getting towards the end of this movie. Oh, thank fuck! John and Annie hear the others screaming for help on the other side of the radio. And honestly, this does a pretty good job of spoofing that scene from Alien with Ripley running down the hallways while Parker and Lambert die on the other side of the walkie-talkie.
Oh, goodbye! Goodbye! Goodbye!
The classic final call from your friends in a military video game. Ah! Over. But now what do they do?
It ate the tranquilizer gun.
It eats everything. Doesn't it ever get full?
What the hell are you talking about? They didn't even have the tranquilizer gun. What did the creature do? Double back, find it, and eat it?
Boy, all that singing and dancing must have really given it an appetite.
Really? All it gave me was incomprehensible blinding rage. But that's it! Not the rage part, the singing and dancing! Annie believes that they might be able to utilize the creature's latent musical appreciation to distract it so they may use the power of choreography to throw it out of the airlock. So, one quick rehearsal later, and...
We're two bachelor bills, we're drunk every night to the gills. Well,
Annie and John are singing and dancing to defeat the creature. See, I told you that talent show was plot relevant. Strangely, this one doesn't seem to go on as long as Eat Your Face, and it's actually got a little back and forth with the dance moves getting close to the creature and backing away before the final flourish locks it into the airlock. And now it's just sitting there looking at them and like, are you sure you want to do this? Really? To poor old me? Send me out into the cold depths of space all alone? Yes, they fucking do. Blasting the bastard into the blackness of the outer space. Therefore, happy ending. The creature is no more. John is a hero, and Annie just loves heroes. Except fuck you. No happy ending. But it was all just a dream.
It was a nightmare, John. The creature's gone.
It turns out he didn't get the girl. Just crippling trauma and PTSD. Sucks. But wait! As they return to Earth, so does the creature. The end. Question mark? Is that a threat? Anyway, that was The Creature Wasn't Nice. Spaceship. Naked space. Well, I think we can all agree that it wasn't any good. Holy shit, if there was ever a movie to showcase the importance of solid writing and editing, this is it. You have an all-star cast whose talents are squandered on poorly written, poorly paced, and poorly presented jokes. You gotta feel sorry for the lot of them. When you're handed a script and acting for the camera, you really don't know how the final production is gonna be like. Plenty of terrible scenes are filmed in pretty much every movie, and while these days they often make it to the final cut, that really wasn't the case in the 80s. Even knowing by the end that the lines ain't all that great, the actors have no way of knowing how the editing is going to bring it all together in the end. I think this is my way of saying I feel sorry for Leslie and Jared and everyone involved. Holy hell, this should not have been this bad. Now, as I said, the comedy is kinda crap in this comedy, but the creature design for the creature? Yeah, it works. It's only actually wet, slimy like 10% of its scenes, but a mass of goo with one silly eye that sings about wanting to eat your face, yeah, that's fine. Just wish they did more with them. A big letdown, of course, are all the scenes that feel unfinished, like they literally planned to add more in post and just didn't. Well, that's not even the biggest travesty. That's got to be just how ungodly long it takes to get things started in a 70-minute movie, because it's been so long on random skits that have no bearing on anything and hardly have an ounce of comedy in them to boot. At the end of the day, The Creature Wasn't Nice is less a movie and more a method of torture. I've seen this thing at least 5 times now. I don't know why I do this to myself. Please, somebody send help. Coming in at 1 Jiffy Pop AI out of 5. And it's freely available on YouTube, but don't. Just don't. Believe me, you can't get that time back. Thank you all for watching. I've been Dr. Shado. And remember, sometimes classic movies are also terrible.
Yeah.